First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Provar Spring 24 Release 1 webinar, where we'll be going over a lot of different features and enhancements throughout the course of the webinar. But first, I'd like to introduce our speakers for today. So I will be the master of ceremonies today, just kind of going through the slides. And my name is Michael Dailey. I'm the Director of Solution Engineering here at Provar. And I'm joined today by Ravi, who's our Senior Product Manager, who will be going through a lot of the different enhancements and features that we have for you all in this particular release. So with that being said, I'd like to thank you all for coming. I'll hand things over to Ravi, who will be going over our agenda for today. So we'll talk about our Salesforce Spring 24 changes and any enhancements and changes that we have for that particular release for the Spring 24 release. And then we'll go over just some additional features and enhancements that we have for the platform and automation. And lastly, we'll be doing a Q&A portion at the end. Feel free to submit your Q&A, any questions that you have in the Q&A function on the Zoom, or you can submit them in the chat. We'll capture those questions and address them all at the end. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and hand it over to Ravi.
Thanks, Michael. Hello, everyone. So as always, this Salesforce release is also coming with significant changes that impacts the test automation tool. So what we have done, we have listed down a few significant ones as a part of this webinar that I'm going to cover today. So starting with the very first one, that is widely impacted is Inline edit screen, where we have seen some DOM restructuring. And this DOM structuring is in terms of fields and labels. So it is not about we're changing any framework from Aura to LWC. The framework is still same, it's just the hierarchy of the DOM elements has been changed as a part of Inline edit screen. Moving to the second one. Second one is around related list tabular view. So as you know, related list can be rendered in tile view or tabular view. So this change is particular to table view, where we have seen significant changes in terms of DOM, where the LWC component has been changed. So related list was always in the LWC format. It has been done in the past Salesforce releases. This time what they have done, they had done some component changes. So as you see on the screen, so the component has changed to LST customized table. Now it is rendered as LST add code related list text object table. So there has been some component changes in the LWC around related list that has impacted the tabular view format. So the third one is around new and edit screens. This one is quite similar to inline edit screen, where we have seen the restructuring of elements in terms of fields and labels. But for new and edit screen, these are limited to read-only fields, while for inline edit, it is for all the fields. So this is the third change coming as a part of Spring 24. The fourth one is one of the big ones. It is around related record. So what Salesforce is doing in every release, they are migrating their Aura framework to LWC framework, and they have done it in the past for different components. So this time it was related record that was impacted with that change. It means earlier the rendering was all in Aura, or the framework was Aura in the past. Now it has been upgraded to LWC. What does it mean? It means the whole rendering of the DOM has been changed based on the LWC rendering. So this will be widely impacted as a part of the Spring 24 release. All right, so I'll move to the next one. That is view all screen of related list. Again, it is a related list, but it is specific to view all screen. The earlier one that we talked about was for view screen, and this is for view all screen. Again, there has been some class specific changes for the view all screen. Inside the DOM structure that has impacted related list view all screen in particular, and view all screen is always in the tabular format, so it falls quite similar into the same category, but screen reference has been changed this time for view all screen. Moving to the next one, convert lead screen is also impacted as a part of this Spring 24 release. So what has happened? This time, the bottom section of the screen where we have record owner and converted status that has been impacted. So it is not the whole screen of convert lead screen. It is just the bottom section of the screen where we have these lookups. These are impacted. And again, there are some class specific changes in the DOM structure that has impacted the convert lead screens. The last one is around activity timeline. Again, there's a class-specific changes, no framework changes this time for activity timeline that have been done in the past, but there has been some restructuring of the class and the DOM structure as a part of this Salesforce release. So these are the changes that are widely impacted these components. There had been others as well, but these are the ones that are widely impacting all these screens and across the objects. That's why we have covered these as a part of this webinar. However, these changes are not announced in the release notes. You'll not find it in the Salesforce release notes. These are something that are coming from the internal team, and that's what we are sharing here as a part of this webinar. However, like there is no specific information available in the release notes around these components and these areas. So to say that, like, yes, these areas are impacted, but if you are using Provar and if you are using standard mapping of Provar, these screens will work fine without making any changes to your script. It means the same script will work fine with this Spring 24 release as well. So you don't have to make any change. But if you are using any page object around any of these screens, then you might be impacted and you'll have to consider updating your scripts. Moving to the next one, I have separately kept this section for ICU because this is one of the big announced changes from Salesforce. They're mentioning it in the release notes. So ICU-related locale format changes are being rolled out as a part of Spring 24. What does it mean? Like, it will change the formatting of date time in your org. So in the past, if you have used date time format in the test cases, you might have to review them. And as a part of this release or in the past, we have supported ICU. So if you are using any inbuilt date time editor of Provar, the same script will keep on working. You don't have to worry about anything, any change in the ICU. But just in case if you have used hard-coded values or you have used expression editor and variables or functions, then you need to make sure your output value is matching the ICU format. If not, you might see some failure in your script and you'll have to update your scripts. So as an example, I have given one example for English India locale. So before ICU, you see like we have date and time coming in this format. And after ICU, there has been one comma added as a part of ICU change, ICU locale format change. It means if you have put any assertion or hard-coded value in the past, in the previous format, this is going to break as a part of Spring 24 release, and you'll have to update your variables or expression editor values. Again, if you're using inbuilt editor, then it will work fine. One more thing about Spring 24 ICU locale changes is like you still have an option to turn it off. It is not yet enforced. It is enabled by default, but you still have an option to go to the setup and you can disable it for the time if you are not ready for this. Okay, moving to the next section, talking about new features. So not just the Salesforce Spring 24 compatibility, we have released a few interesting features as well as a part of this release. So I'm going to cover that as well. So the first one is extract layout support for dynamic form. So far, our extract layout API were able to fetch the record layout from the setup, and users were able to assert these APIs, these values directly via their extract APIs and the assert APIs. But what has happened in the past is Salesforce has released dynamic form that gives the capability to the user to redesign the page directly from the app builder without going to the record layout. So people were facing certain discrepancy because information updated on the dynamic form was not updated in the record layout. This is how Salesforce has designed it. But what we have done some enhancement to our existing extract and assert layout API, where now user will see another option of extracting dynamic form layout as well as a part of this API. So if you know, like if any of the object has been upgraded to dynamic form, you will have the capability to extract the layout information of the dynamic form page, and you can assert it using the same extract and assert layout API. Moving to the next one, action and recommendation. So this is another component that we have supported as a part of custom template. Action and recommendations were always supported as a part of standard template, but it was not supported on custom template in the past. So as a part of this release, we have enhanced the support to custom template as well. It means you will be able to map and execute all the elements of action and recommendation on the custom templates as well. Along with this feature, you also have the flexibility, like if you were using action and recommendation on standard template in the past and you have upgraded your template to custom template, the same script will keep on working without making any change to your test case. So it is cross template supported and it will work vice versa as well. So this is coming as a part of this release. The next one is around PM integration, where we had many requests from the customer executing their jobs via CLI to support OAuth JWT type of connections. So we already support this type of connection for Salesforce connection types, but it was not supported as a part of Provar Manager integration. So this feature is to enhance that capability and allow you to create JWT type of connection as well for Provar Manager integration. So that's that. Moving to the next one. This is an interesting enhancement coming to Test Builder, where on the left, if you see, user now will have the capability to create the group test step directly in the Test Builder. In the past, it was always you have to go back to the tool and create the group test step to organize your test. Now you have the capability to create the group test steps directly in the Test Builder. And on the right side, there is also options available to delete, clone, disable, move, and group multiple test steps directly in the test builder. So it saves certain time for me where I don't have to move to the tool just to organize my test cases when I'm authoring it. So you can create your test case, you can author your test case, and you can right away organize them in the test builder without going to the tool. So this is an interesting feature. So all these features are mentioned as a part of this release notes as well, and we have dedicated detailed help pages available for all the features. So if you want to give it a try and want to learn more, go to the release page and go to the help page to understand more about it. And if you have any query, please to ask. Moving to the next section, it is certain enhancement as a part of this release. So go to the next slide, please. So there are some build versioning changes coming as a part of this release. What does it mean? So if you are using Provar on your local desktop, you are going to the download page and downloading Provar latest release. You don't have to worry about it, but this change is more to the DevOps pipeline. So if anyone has used major and minor version as a part of their DevOps pipeline to configure and download the builds, so we have made some changes in the download URL where now with starting this release, we will not mention the minor version as a part of build link. So if you see the example, the first one, this is how we used to produce the download link, and in the build name, you see we have 2.12.1.05. 05 is the minor version that was always there, but it was something that we used internally. Now we have eliminated that complexity from the URL. Now we are just showing 2.12.1 as a part of the release. So if you have used major and minor version as a part of your DevOps pipeline, do consider updating that, or will recommend like use the latest tags that you don't have to change these names all the time. Moving to the next one, so there have been certain other enhancement and issues resolved as a part of this release. So I'll not go through each and every point here, but just to highlight the very first one where we had certain impact on SSO connection in Winter 24, where it had stopped downloading metadata after some changes in Winter 24. And cookie-specific changes in Winter 24 that has been cutted as a part of this release, and now SSO connection for Salesforce should work fine and should download the metadata properly. And there are a few other enhancements as well. Again, these are mentioned as a part of release notes as well. We have detail on the help pages available. Go through them and see like if any of the feature is important for you or any enhancement that you are waiting for. And if you have any queries, do reach out to us. Handing over to Michael for University of Provar updates.
Thank you so much for that overview, Ravi. So I'll be going over some of the updates that we have for the University of Provar. So first and foremost, we have 2 new micro-learning courses that are available on the University of Provar, and a QR code is conveniently available on the screen if you would like to access those. Again, these are intended as bite-sized resources, so only take about 5 to 10 minutes to complete, and they're very, very helpful. I've already kind of gone through these courses here. Good learning opportunities always available to you there. Additionally, we have some upcoming courses, so be on the lookout for those. They're always releasing new courses over the course of time. The next one coming is the Provar Customer Journey. So excited for that one to see what that entails. Okay, outside of that, that is the conclusion of all of our features and enhancements for this webinar. Now we'll open it up to Q&A. We've had a few questions come in already, so we'll kind of go through those. But if you do have any questions, please do submit those either in the chat or the Q&A function inside of Zoom. We'll get to those as they come in. So I'll go ahead and go through those now. So we have one question here about Provar Manager. It says, is there anything coming soon for Provar Manager?
All right, I'll take that, Michael. So yeah, so Nick Sayles here, product manager for Provar Grid. I work closely with Samuel on Provar Manager. So we've got some exciting new UX changes coming shortly with Provar Manager to help with the navigation of test plans, test suites, and test cases. So we're looking to make some changes with that in the coming weeks. So watch your space for some more changes. And also on the Grid front, as Grid is part of Manager, we're also introducing some new notification alerts for via Slack and email, and Bitbucket Enterprise support.
Thank you very much for that, Nick. And again, the Provar Manager release will be coming at the end of this month separately. We had another question here regarding the Spring 24 release. It says, is this release mandatory if you are not on Spring 24 yet? Ravi, you want to take that one? I think you're muted.
Oh, sorry. So no, if you are not upgraded to Spring 24, you can skip this release, and it is not mandatory for you.
Okay, thank you very much. We had another question in here. This one's from Brett. It says, we are already using the Provar Manager Oauth connection. I guess this was from the initial version of the integration. It says, is there any specific reason why we should switch to the JWT connection method?
So I'll take that. So it is not something we are replacing. It is another addition. So the way we have JWT connection type supported for Salesforce connections. So it is another way of authenticating where you'd have to pass JKS keys and other details. So it is a bit different than Webflow. It requires different information. And as you said, like there are people like who don't want to provide secret ID tokens. So it is for them. So it is another choice. So it is not restricting anything. It is another choice that you have to create the integration connection that we have for Salesforce connection as well.
Thank you, Ravi. We had another question in here regarding the versioning and the update process. I think it's from Anna, sorry. It says she's currently using version 2.11.2, which is Winter 24 release 2. There were a couple of releases in between there, and the question is, should I update first to the next release, or can I skip that one and install the Spring 24 release?
So I'll take this one. So again, as I said, so you have to see your org version. So if you're still on older version of Salesforce release, then yes, you can skip it. But if you have updated your org to Spring 24, then yes, you need to take this release.
Yep. And we had a question in here regarding the Chrome driver updating. So regarding updates, it seems like there were some challenges faced with the new automation version not supporting the latest Chrome web drivers, and they were having to download those manually. I suppose the question is that something that we're looking at, or is that something that's been resolved in their latest release as far as how those Chrome web drivers are supported?
So as a part of this release, we are supporting Chrome 120, and we have Chrome driver 120 as a part of this release. But we also have this Chrome version supported that automatically downloads. So it should not break. We haven't seen anything like something is broken as a part of Chrome driver download. But if you have any concern, we do request like raise the case and probably the team can look into that. But yeah, as a part of this release, we support Chrome 120 and Chrome version should work fine for any version you are using for Chrome.
And we had another question in here regarding the Provar Manager 3.0 release. So it's not currently listed on the App Exchange. It will be made available at the end of this month. So that's when the next release for Provar Manager is scheduled to be released. There was another question about the new release being available from Dinesh. I'm assuming you mean automation. This has already been released. It should be available on the Success portal. You can access it from the tabs there inside of your Success portal. If you go and click releases, you'll be able to see the latest release there. And there was another question in here regarding from Abdu. It says, is there any way to learn Provar? Yes, actually. And that was one of the last slides that we just covered was the University of Provar. So that's a great resource if you have little to no experience with Provar, or if you're adept at Provar. There's a lot of courses that are available for you there. The good starting point would probably be Provar Essentials. So everything on University of Provar is free. So you can sign in and you can register for free there and take the Provar Essentials course. And then if you're feeling extra, like some extra learning, then you can go into the advanced courses as well. And we had a question in here. This one, again, is for Provar Manager. It says, with Provar Manager, what is the team doing regarding the ability to view live execution rather than having to wait for the results?
I'll take that one. There's some new functionality coming up in the next release that will show the ongoing jobs that are being run, and then you can drill down into those records as well. So that's coming shortly.
Also worth noting that we had in the most recent release for Manager, the previous release, the video recordings available. Those are posted after the execution is complete, but that does let you go and view the test run in its entirety. All right, we have another question in here. Will the grouping of test steps be available in the versions which my team is already using for a customer? Is there a way that we can get the current customer version upgraded to have this feature? Ravi, if you want to take that one.
Button. Yeah, so yes, I think it is available as a part of this release, the Spring 24 release. And if you have taken that release, you should see that option right away. But yeah, it was not there in the previous releases.
Thank you for that. And we had another follow-up question regarding the training. The advanced course is free as well, Abdu. So all the courses on the University of Provar are free and available for anyone to go and learn and use. And there's certifications there as well. So I didn't mention that previously, but you can always add those to your CV. Good things to have on there. Okay, any additional questions? Any other questions that we had? There's a really good questions that we had come in. Oh, we had another one just come in now. Oh, so this is from Promote. It says, follow-up question regarding the test steps feature. Do we need to buy the new version?
No, so it is available as a part of. So if you're talking about this regrouping steps that we just released, so no, you don't have to. You just have to take the latest version. If you already have the license, that will work. No extra cost for this.
Thanks, Ravi. And we had another question in here. This one's from Envar. It says, Provar is strong for Salesforce object elements, but when it comes to full custom app built on Lightning Web Components, they've been struggling to find the right locators and are having to edit these frequently. Is there any plans or roadmaps to kind of overcome this challenge?
So yeah, I think for LWC, we recommend using NitroX if you are using custom components. So as I said, as a part of this release, even the standard components are moving to LWCs. So if you're talking about standard, yes, the standard mapping should work fine. But if you're talking about custom components, NitroX is the way. But if you're facing challenges, do reach out to service team. I think they should be able to help you. Though like it works on the component IDs and I mean, interestingly, we had very good feedback of NitroX in this release where none of the components were broken, but it will be interesting to see if it is not working for you and you are changing with time. So do let us know and talk to our service team if you're facing any challenges with this.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that we're continuously expanding the NitroX support across the board for all custom components and different experiences of Salesforce. So I know that those are on the roadmap as well. So be on the lookout in future releases for any enhancements there. There was another question for the certification. The certification is free. The whole course is free and the certification is free there as well. So just to answer that one real quickly. We had a question in here related to CI execution. This one was probably better suited for potentially raising a case because it seems like you're having some issues with your download of the Salesforce metadata. The question was there a way to stop Provar from downloading all the Salesforce metadata every time a test is run in a pipeline? So it's hard to answer that question at face value. Probably need a little bit more context there. So I would suggest raising a case through the success portal and getting that looked at.
Yeah, maybe Michael, maybe I can jump in as much as I understand. So yes, I think when you're running your test cases in the pipeline in the AND execution, you have an option to choose refresh or reload. So reload is every time it will download the fresh metadata and use it for the execution. But if you're sure, confident your metadata is not changing and old metadata is working, you can choose the option of reusing the metadata. And if you choose reuse, it will not download the metadata every time and will reuse the same metadata. But yes, make sure like if your metadata is changing, you always download the latest copy, else you can use reuse metadata option in the end.
There was a question in here about NitroX from Brett. It says, will this be made more user-friendly in the future? It seems there's quite a few manual steps required or needed to make this work successfully. Ravi, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so I think yes, I think we have taken that feedback in terms of making it more user friendly, and yes, we have that focus to improve the usability of NitroX in terms of whether it is creating the JSON or making it more user friendly for the user. So yes, just to answer in short, yes, we are working on it. We are looking. We have received the feedback and we are working on these enhancements. And these are as a part of roadmap as well.
Right. And I believe this is top of mind for NitroX for sure. I think that we've taken this feedback, as Ravi has said. Okay. Looks like we got to the end of our questions here. There was a general question about, it says, has anyone noticed a change with their Salesforce release or Salesforce layouts with the latest release, like truncated layouts? I'm not sure, Ravi, if you had any feedback on that one specifically.
Yeah, no, it is an interesting one, but we haven't seen any change because it is a very basic one, and if there is any such change, we should have noticed that. But yeah, none of our customers and internal user has reported it. So if you're facing anything like that, do raise a case, and probably team can look into it.
Thank you. Okay, I think that's everything. We've covered all the questions here. Again, thank you all for coming and attending, and thank you all for the questions. Hopefully we're able to answer all of those. And yeah, that concludes today's webinar. Again, we'd like to thank you all for joining. Thank you, Ravi, for assisting.
Thank you.
All right, everyone have a wonderful day.